From the Cardinal Television Studios, I'm Caitlin Murphy, and this is your Fisher News Brief. In an update from yesterday's story, a senior Iraqi health official says that over the past several days, 112 bodies have been pulled from the site of a March 17th coalition airstrike in Mosul. The United States and Iraq say they are investigating the airstrike and these civilian deaths. Ford plans to invest more than $1 billion in 3 of its plants in Michigan. The U.S. automaker announced Tuesday that much of that investment, $850 million, will retool its Wayne plant to build the Ford Ranger and Bronco. Money will also be invested at an engine plant in Romeo, as well as a new data center at its assembly plant in Flat Rock. The investments come months after Ford said it would sink $700 million into electric and self-driving cars at the Flat Rock plant. Before Tuesday's announcement, President Trump praised Ford's move, calling it an example of car companies coming back to the United States. Trump was critical of Ford during the last year's presidential campaign, inaccurately accusing the automaker of planning to move all of its U.S. plants to Mexico. A massive storm has landed on the Australian coast. This is the view from space of Cyclone Debbie reaching landfall Tuesday. It made landfall as a Category 4 cyclone, which is the equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane in the U.S. The storm is packing sustained winds of 114 miles an hour, with gusts reaching more than 160 miles an hour. The cyclone has already left at least 50,000 homes without power and dumped a great deal of rain on northeast Australia. Scientists turn a vegetable into a beating heart tissue, and a cat who's like a fish out of water. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Scientists have found a way to turn a spinach leaf into a working human heart muscle. Researchers at Worcester Polytechnic Institute say they came up with the idea over lunch. The goal was to replicate a human vascular system using a leaf's network of veins. First, the leaves were stripped of their cells using detergent, turning them translucent. Then, the spinach veins were seeded with human heart tissue. After a few days, the leaves' muscle cells began to beat. You can actually see the injected red dye coursing through the spinach veins. Scientists hope their research could someday help treat heart attack patients. It's no secret that most cats aren't fans of water. So when a woman discovered a family's cat playing in the ocean, she thought, "You've got to be kidding me." Pharaoh, a 5-month-old Siamese mix, loves the water, according to his family. They say he's been given baths twice a week since he was a kitten, which explains why Pharaoh frolics so freely in the Florida surf with very little persuasion. Hey, listen, if you're in the Washington, D.C. area anytime soon, be sure to check out the famous annual cherry blossoms. After a very warm February and then a very sudden March frost, the National Park Service had been concerned about the fate of the blossoms, but they're in full bloom and are as spectacular as ever. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
And that's all of today's headlines. I'm Caitlin Murphy for Fisher News Brief.